Welcome aboard The Nichole Show with host Nichole Hamilton. Our task is to educate, empower, and change lives. Join us for stories of resilience and rebirth. Honest talks that inspire and challenge you. Are you ready to make a move? It begins now. Hello, guys, and welcome back to The Nichole Show, where we have different guests coming on to talk about issues that are kind of behind the scenes. So you guys know me as Nichole, the kids coach, and for me, I honestly feel like I have about 1,000 lives on this earth, and I am very diverse. And today I have in the studio a very dear friend of mine and my pole mama, Leanne Williamson. We've known each other, I don't even know, maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to bring her on because it's a part of me is pole dancing, and sometimes I post a lot about it, and sometimes I've deleted it off because in social media world, women do get judged for pole dancing, for being sexy, for posting photos, and I really want to talk about soul sisters, people that you meet, people that are meant to be in your life, and doing something as a community that makes you feel good. Now, this episode's not just about pole dancing, but it's about something that you and I find very dear. We mentor other women through dance, through body imagery, being in that space. And the reason that I love, and we will plug Pole for Fitness, because of course that's our studio. The reason that I love coming back there is because Leanne has cultivated such a community in her 2 studios in South Australia that everybody's welcome. Kids, neurodiversity, men and women, all shapes and sizes, and there's so much variant to the classes that we have there, and each of us instructors get to teach what we're good at there. But yeah, I wanted to dive in and share a little bit about our pole journey. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's very exciting. And yes, I love how you put that. We are very much about making sure that everybody is welcome. We teach kids from the age of 4 all the way up until you can't walk in. Well, actually, you probably could still come to the studio if you couldn't walk, because you use your upper body well, up until you can't do it anymore. Yeah, and any age, any sex, we're not judgmental. I couldn't care less if you shaved your legs. I don't care, whether you've come straight from work or my favorite is when you're brand new and you're scared to walk into the studio, and you walk in there and you leave feeling like you've known everyone forever. That community sense is instant.
100%. You feel like family, and that's what I love about being in that environment. We have our support page. We help each other in a lot of different places, but when we connect, we get to share not only our fitness journey wherever we're at or our dance ability, but we actually really connect on that emotional level, and it's just that beautiful support that we have from all our instructors, and it obviously starts from you. The reason that I continue to go back is like when you go to other, gyms or other places, like nobody congratulates you. No one cares. They kind of get in their zone, and we are such, a friendly environment, kids, adults, whatever in between. We all do. We found out our friends there, and that's why we keep coming back. It's why you've been in the industry for so long and took it over as your own business.
Yeah, and like you and I have chatted a few times about how difficult business is, and you get into just a roll and a rut and whatnot, and I love calling you when I'm like, oh, I've got so much to do and blah 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 blah, and you're like, Leanne, but you've created this great environment. You love going into the studio because it's your happy place. You literally, it doesn't matter what mood you're in, you can walk in that door and you've just got a smile and you love being there and it's infectious. And you're so right. And everybody who walks through that door just feels that warmth, that happiness as soon as you do go through that door. And it doesn't really matter what's happened that day. If you've had a bad day, you can talk to your friends because they care. They listen. They want to know what's going on. Okay, well, let's get that out of you. And how do we move past that? And they're really supportive. And that can even be me. I can have a shit day, and people around me just are like, all right, let's just do this, Leanne. And you forget about it for the time that you're there. And I love that. It's infectious.
100%. And wedding movement is so important. Both of us have got PT backgrounds because we know that the mental health, moving your body is the last thing you want to do when you feel like shit, but it's the best thing you can do and it's free. Like you don't have to go join a studio, like moving your body will literally get the endorphins, you move that energy out in your body. So it's so, so important. But yeah, I do love it. Let's like switch the switch votes. Pole dancing as a woman, as a mama bear, both of us are in our 40s, and it doesn't really matter what age we're at, but there is a lot of judgment. There's a lot of online bullying that happens when we post our photos, our videos from people that don't understand. And that can be really hard. Like I've felt at sometimes I have to hide that side of me. You know, I went in because I loved the mental challenge. It was something I was doing with my own body. I wasn't in a team sport, although I was in a team. And I knew that I wasn't a sexy dancer because that does not come to me naturally. I was strong and I loved, trying to get the moves and the rest and that camaraderie. But the judgment, I wonder really like how many people are too scared to come and try, have tried it and got bullied or, stopped, coming to the studios because they're posted. It's really hard to be a woman and we actually are entitled to be all the things. A mum, a businesswoman, sexy, lovable, funny, relaxed, go on holiday. We're allowed to do all the things, yet for some reason, some people think that they can have a judging on that. And yeah, I want to talk about your experience with it because it happens a lot. It happens a lot, right?
So this is a raw subject for me. I can't stand judgmental people. I don't tolerate it. If you are in my studio and you're judging people, just don't come. I don't want you there. You're not a part of our community. You're not our people, really. I want people to walk in, feel empowered, safe, comfortable. I want them to feel amazing, whether it's a 4-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 6-year-old. I don't care how old you are. I want you to feel achieved. Honestly, for me, when you feel achieved and you feel really good about yourself, I feel like I've done my job. I feel like the reason that I walked through that door that day was to give you that. For me, and we've spoken about this, for me, to be honest, I think it's a big part of why I get up in the morning. I really love seeing people feel good about themselves, get a move, feel that they look good in something that they didn't think they could look good in, be able to post about their achievements and see the camaraderie and see the whole community be like, wow, that was amazing. You did that. And people don't realize how hard it is. Pole dancing, unfortunately, you do have to wear minimal clothing in pole. You can't grip. It's very difficult to grip with clothes on. You need your skin. Your skin does the gripping. So yes, you do need to get down to your underwear. You do have to feel raw. Scars, stretch marks, cellulite,
Yeah,
bruises, the whole lot. It all comes out. And you know what? When you're in a room full of people who aren't judgy, you actually feel really good. You don't care about the fact that you've got stretch marks because you've put weight on and lost weight. You've had children. Whatever the reason is, Nobody cares. They're actually just all there to be supportive. Nobody even notices that, to be honest. I've never actually had somebody, and I do have scars. I do have stretch marks. I have put weight on. I have been pregnant. I have lost weight. I've gone through my ups and downs, and not one person said to me, "Oh, Leanne, you're putting on a bit of weight. Oh my gosh, you've lost so much weight. Are you okay?" Nobody says that. It's not like that there. They're just all like, "Wow, look where you are right now," and that's what I love about our community. There's no judgment, and that's how it should be. Those people who are judging online are people who have insecurities in themselves, and maybe they should just come to the studio, because when they walk in there, their insecurities will be gone. I can help them. We
Yeah,
can help them.
give it a go. I think that um the fact is that when we're in that community and we're all the same and we're all behaving that way, we do start building on our self-love.
Yes.
We've coached, kids and teenagers through looking at themselves in the mirror. Society does say we're meant to look a certain way or behave a certain way. And with the freedom of, dance and, wearing minimal clothing and everybody being the same, we all look for each other's best attributes. We're not looking through the lens of, oh my God, Bunter said, you have a stretch mark, you put weight on. And that's the way human nature should be. Yet, for some reason, somewhere along the line, and perhaps it's happened to all of us, we have been bullied. We have been told we're not pretty, or we're, overweight, or whatever else. And that sticks, and that really does diminish your sense of self-worth. And what I found through the community is that every time I go there, like my energy, my love for myself always improves every single time, whether I'm an instructor or I'm doing a class myself. And people don't see that side of it. There is that judgment, like, it's sexy, you're a stripper, blah, blah, blah. We could go into that as well. But it's really not about that. It's about body movement. We have so many classes. Obviously, there's different classes for different age groups. We're very appropriate when it comes to that. What I love about the studio as well is that you are diverse. Like, we take all kids. It's not a strict, you have to have this kind of dance ability to be a performer in our container, in our group, in our performances. It's really, really beautiful and inclusive. So everybody, like you said, if they walk through the door, they would be so loved on and so supported and so appreciative, because that's what it's about. Yeah, it is. It's just a beautiful place to play.
And that gives me goosebumps hearing that, because that's exactly what I wanted to create.
Why do you think, like, you actually do get a lot. What are some of the insecurities that you talk people through when they call up? Like, they say, "Hey, I'm brand new and I wanna come to pole dancing." What are the first couple of things that they ask?
Will the pole hold my weight?
Yeah.
What is the weight limit on the pole? Oh, look, I'm in my 30s. Is it full of teenagers that are really tiny? I might be a size 14 or whatever. Am I going to feel out of place? I'm like, no, I'm 44 with 6 kids, and I'm certainly not a teenager, and I'm not size 4 either. And to be honest, majority of my students are the average person. I will be honest, and they do ask me, "Oh, is it just for strippers?" It's not just for strippers, but I don't like people putting strippers in a bad box either. Like, I have strippers that work for me, and it's an occupation, and they're just paying their bills. Life's expensive.
Like you said, we don't judge. Like,
We don't
anybody
judge.
feels
They're
some
just
anything.
people.
By
It's
the way,
it's just a job.
back to the poll. I'll waive in that. Is there a weight limit?
No, there is no weight limit. So my husband's actually a qualified rigger, and there's actually really no weight limit. The pole is dyno bolted to the floor and bolted to the ceiling, and it's double filament. There's actually 2 poles in one, and we've had 5 people on a pole in our studio and done layouts and whatnot on them, and it's
Yeah,
fine.
back
It
to the
doesn't bend, doesn't move. It's fine.
Yeah, just checking with, we had people like, the minimal weight, people that are 40 kilos, and, we've got kids that are, less than that. We've got people that are all the way up to, hundreds of kilos, and it really doesn't matter. And they're all beautiful and all perfect. And the thing is, when you first start, doesn't matter what, again, weight you are, don't get it too hard. You have to learn to hold your own weight. Like, I couldn't hold my weight when I first started, and I get it because through my transformations, I started pole dancing over 10 years ago as well. And there were a lot of gorgeous, women and people on land with abs. I used to I'm a bigger girl. I'm 12 to 14, sometimes a 10, depends on my weight. But I used to stand sideways behind them because I was a fat girl, and I don't call myself that anymore, but that was a story I was telling myself. I'm the bigger girl on the pole. And now I just I literally, that shooting has not me so much love for myself because I look at myself in the eyes, in the mirror, and move my body in the ways that I feel good moving it. And I'm proud of my body, and I tell myself I'm curvy, I'm gorgeous, but I love every single part of me, every single session, every single day. But I can find something in one of the moves or one of the things that I'm really appreciative of. So it does build your self-confidence and your self-worth and your self-love doing it. And, hopefully, guys listening to this, you could find something that doesn't, again, have to be pole dancing, but there's so many cool things that you can do, with your body that makes you build that level of love and commitment to it. I think it's really important, and it's just not spoken about enough because, once you become a mom or once you're older, people have this opinion of how you should live your life. So,
Which is
yeah.
so ridiculous. Like, why can't we feel sexy? Why can't we feel empowered? Why can't we, feel great in, wearing next to nothing and or strong even, if your aim is not to feel sexy, come in and feel strong. I can make you feel strong. You will feel strong.
Yeah, I love that. And, again, the reason for this podcast is to talk about things that, I perhaps sometimes don't show enough on social media or talk about because these are my struggles too. I've had moments where I've struggled with my own sense of self-worth or my own body imagery, my own looks. And, for a really long time, I used to look at myself and call myself fat. I used to say that to myself. And then I was actually going to Maslins, which is another journey altogether, but being naked myself in nature was the day that I turned around and freed myself of that story and just could say to myself, I'm beautiful. I love my body no matter what. And it's not as if sometimes I don't have a falter in that, but getting to that point, like learning to, be around all different bodies and dance really helped me get to this point where I can confidently say that, I'm happy with my strength, with my fitness, with, who I am as a person. And I know that I've struggled with that a lot.
I think the thing is, Nichole, what are we teaching our children? If we're feeling good about ourselves and we're empowering ourselves, are we teaching our children to feel good about themselves? Are we teaching our children, that they should feel good about their achievements? Whereas when we're putting ourselves down and we're judging other people, we're teaching our children to do that exact same thing. Children mimic your behavior. So if you, as a mum, are going, I'm going to my dance class tonight, and you come home in such a good mood because you felt good about you, your kids pick up on that.
100%.
You've done something for you, but you've actually done something for them too. You've given them that my mum's happy.
Yeah, 100%. Both of my boys, 17 and 14, they joined gyms, and that's for the fact that they've always seen me move my body. Like, they know that that's a healthy option to do. I didn't make them do it. They both chose to pick something that they, that they want to do, and I know that that's for me, being a good role model, and I think you're
Correct.
right. And, I do coach a lot of women from, having low self-esteem or low body imagery, and standing in front of the mirror and constantly complaining about their looks or their weight, in front of their daughters. That's where they learn it from.
Yes.
And I think that's a really good reminder because us moms, we would never say our children are overweight or look a certain way or need to change their looks or need this to be better. But when we say it about ourselves, that's what we're teaching them.
Yes.
And so when we can say, hey, like, I'm amazing. You know, you don't have to be that I'm beautiful if that doesn't feel right for you, but I'm amazing. I'm strong. Like, I have a loving heart. Like, if you can say some of those things about yourself and reiterate that to the kids, like, it's me.
Yeah.
And in the community, we have mental health classes. Like, we do have
Yeah.
kids. We're super friendly. I let kids come to my meditation classes because it doesn't have to be perfect or quiet.
No.
You know, we do come to that because, you know, mama bears deserve to have that time too. And sometimes we are in this time of war or don't have a support to have a babysitter. You know, a lot is welcome. And again, that's something that we should be super proud of because not all communities do that as well.
And we've all had to do it. Like, I've had to bring my kids to work. In fact, some of them did work for me. You know, I've had to bring them to work with me, and, you know, you've had to do it, and that's okay. It's a family community anyway. It doesn't mean that we're any less of a teacher because our children come to work with us. In fact, it just shows that we're that big open community.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I had one question for you that I do want to dive into. We're not going to go like a really super episode, but I was looking at questions that people to ask me dating how I do. But I'm going to do this one. What was your first impression of me and how has it changed over time? I know this story, but you tell it because it's pretty funny and I want to really talk about the doing connections and how we make new friends. So yeah.
Hey everyone, Nichole here, and I hope you're enjoying today's episode. I just want to take a quick moment to talk to you all. If you're finding value in our conversations and loving the raw, honest dialogues we're having here, I've got a small favor to ask. This podcast is a passion project for me, and there's nothing I love more than bringing these stories and insights to you. So if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing to our show and leaving a review? It's completely free and it doesn't take much time, but it really helps us in two big ways. It's getting the podcast in front of more listeners, which keeps our community growing. It helps us attract more amazing guests, which means we give you more value in the episodes we bring to you. Just hit that subscribe button, drop us a review, and let's keep these conversations flowing. Now let's dive right back into our episode, and thanks so much for being a part of the Nichole's Show.
So I was a student and you were a student, and the studio owner and I had become quite close friends, and you'd known her for quite some time. And I was going through a divorce and separation at the time and didn't want to be home. So I was constantly out partying and then going home, getting up in the morning, dealing with my children, going back to the studio, training, out partying again. And this was just basically my life. And you thought I was a bad influence on your friend, the studio owner, and you thought that I was, you know, leading her astray and whatnot, and you didn't have a very good opinion of me. And I was like, well, I don't know what your problem is. Like, I'm actually trying to help her. Like, what is your issue with me? And we did actually, we're both very strong-headed, you know, boss babes, and we both just approached each other and like, you know, what's your issue? We both, you know, because of the community camaraderie, we were just like, this doesn't feel right. There's this tension between us. What's going on? And we both just sat down and nutted it out. And you were like, I don't like you. You're a bad influence on my friend. You know, you're always out partying and you're leading her astray. And then obviously you got to know me and realized, well, no, I was just going through a bit of a rough patch myself. And, you know, I was only going out and having a few drinks and I just needed to dance and get out of my house because I didn't want to go home. And actually I became a really good influence for Ash, who used to own the studios, and I actually helped her out of loads of holes, to be honest. I got her financially stable, went 50-50 with her, and we opened up other studios. But you didn't know that. You judged me before you actually got to know me. And, you know, back then, you and you know, I was probably a bit judgmental towards you as well. I wasn't in a very good headspace myself, and I was going through my own shit, and you know, whereas now I'm out of that and I'm in a good headspace myself. we talked about it and we
100%.
became really good friends.
We are really, really good friends, soul sisters, like, and I just think that this is a really beautiful story because we talk about having non-judgment, but we're all brought up that way. I saw things on social media. I had some ideas about you. I was really passionate about my friend. I'm very outspoken. And I probably didn't do it in a really nice way. Let's be real. It's, going back 10 years ago. I'll let all steals now. But I just wanted to put that out there because we all do at some stage judge another woman, and especially us. It's harder to make friends as you get older. And I'm really glad that Tapping and I didn't stay in that space, that we had the love in our heart and the forgiveness to go, hey, we started off on the wrong foot. I had a wrong opinion of you. I've got to know you now. And we've had that, really open relationship where we talk about everything. And even now, like if we've had things that have come up within business or clients, we've always come back to a place of love and really, honesty. I think that's beautiful. And, women do inadvertently judge each other. Yet, there might be some boundaries. Like perhaps if, there were some things you're doing, I wasn't okay with that we might not have been friends. But by giving a chance to really come back to compassion and love, like we've built a really good lifelong friendship. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I'm just curious, like how many other women out there have similar situations where they judge somebody else, or they're lonely, or they don't have friends, or they don't know how to, come back to a place and make a repair. It's really beautiful to own your shit, to apologize, to be really open and honest and say, hey, I did judge you, or I was in a bad place then, or, coming back to that. That's what makes friendships really deep and even more special, is when you go through that and come out the other side. That's what I believe. And I love that story because I remember it vaguely. Our whole friendship has changed. But
I think the thing for us, Nichole, was we're both very strong women, and you were very protective of your friend, and you just saw me come in, and I was very bubbly and very outspoken myself as well, and you saw me possibly leading your friend astray, and you didn't like it because you were protective of your friend, but you did do the right thing. You didn't judge me for very long. You did come straight to me and be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm protective of my friend. Do you have the right intentions for her? Because she's gone through her journey and she's trying to come out the other side, and you're kind of roping her back into a life that she doesn't need to go down. And I was like, hey, no, I'm not doing that. And I think once you'd heard my side of the story, you were like, okay. And we became good friends. And actually, you ended up coming out with us as well a few times, and we had great times. But, it is that you were strong enough to come to me and be like, who are you and what are you doing and what are your intentions? And I didn't take offense to it. I was just like, well, this is what's going on in my life. I was strong enough to open up. Not everybody is like that. Not everybody has I'm very open. I'm very much, you can ask me anything and I'm going to tell you. I don't have anything to hide. I've got no reason to hide anything. I'm not really ashamed of anything. It's just who I am. But, if not everybody can deal with those things. We just were, I guess, in the right place at the right time, and your heart was in the right place, and I could see that.
Thank you. But yeah, I just think it's a real testament to to both of us as well, to develop that and continue that friendship. And yeah, I still am very protective of a lot of my friends. I do things probably a little bit differently now, but yeah, I was worried. I come from an addiction background. I'm definitely worried about certain intentions, and you're like anti, drugs and all the rest of it. And I had, unfairly judged you. But, I think that going through that, it also shows me how to pull my own head in and ask questions before judging. Go and do it with a loving heart. If you're worried about somebody or something going on. But yeah, I am grateful for the fact that, we have this long-standing working and also friendship. It's a beautiful place. So before we finish up, is there anything else that you have ever wanted to ask me or challenge me on? Is there anything that you want to know? Yeah, you have full reign here and can challenge me or anything, question me or anything.
I feel like I know you so well, but hearing some of the things that you said before about you had taken off pictures and whatnot off of social media for being judged, I'll be honest, I didn't actually think that that's why you were doing it, and I didn't know that's why you were doing it. I thought that you had tried to flip your life for, you were going down the role of kids coach and whatnot, but I actually didn't look at the judgment side of it. And I don't think I really deep down really understood, and I didn't think of it. I was just like, oh, well, she's changing over to the kids coach and she's changing all her social media over to the kids coach, and good, she's just flipping her social media. I didn't actually think of the fact that you were doing that so that people didn't judge you to be a coach. And I guess it kind of took me back a little bit when you said that before, because I really never thought of it that way, that people are judging us in our outside of pole professions. Can we be a pole dancer and a great kids coach? They're two completely separate things. And it's very similar to, you teach children, but you also teach adults. I teach children what I teach kids. I do not teach them what I teach the adults. It's completely different. I can separate that. But I never really thought that some people can't separate that. So for you, it actually saddens me a little bit that you had to pull all of that off of social media to think that people could trust you as a kids coach.
Well, I think I've kind of shifted now, and that's why again that I've created this podcast, because okay, I'm probably going to get judgment on some of the things that I'm going to speak about in this podcast, but I'm actually at a place that I can hold myself with love and integrity, and I'm doing it for the people that maybe at home are listening to this and going, I get it. Like I feel like that, maybe they have done that before, or maybe they're in a similar situation as me. But yeah, I do take it down. I remember when I used to run kids classes as well, and there was photos of me like in my pom knickers and a crop top teaching kids. But some of the comments, people just have no idea. What we teach kids is so different, and compared to what we teach adults. And yeah, it for me to start with, I was actually quite nervous, the kids coach, but she can't be, a pole dancer. And so now I'm like, well, if I'm gonna get judged, so be it. And I'm actually in a place I'm quite comfortable. I have a old video on TikTok that I posted. I think it was even in COVID times, I don't know. And it went viral, like it got like, I don't know, thousands and thousands of views. And it was bullying. It was like, you're too big, look at the dark marks between your thighs. Like it was just, and again, like I actually kept it up. I didn't, for me, it didn't hurt my soul. I was just like, okay, people are going to comment about certain things, but I understand if somebody was really at a low point in their life or low self-esteem, like how that really hurts somebody else. So yeah, I guess that's again why I want to talk about this, because wherever you're at, you are a beautiful human. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, trans, bi, non-binary, whatever you are. You're entitled to live your best life, and you're entitled to have the support and love from your community and set boundaries, and you have a whole wheel. Like you have your family time, you have your you time, you have your your partner, your intimate time, you have your whatever, and that you could be a performer, you can be whatever you like in your thing, and they are all compartmentalized because they're all parts of you. None of them reflect on others yet. Some of us think that once we get to a certain age or a certain whatever, or a certain stature in business, that you can't have it all, or you have to let go of some things. And so for me, that's what I want to talk about today, is just rock up, be authentically you. So, you probably see some more pole dancing stuff on my end. You probably noticed I've been posting a lot more of it lately, because I'm not ashamed. And if I'm going to get judged, well, we'll just stand together and not worry about it, and just, represent to the others that might be out there.
It just amazes me because I know how strong and empowering you are, and I really didn't think about it in that way. I just thought you were changing your business, ideas and whatnot, but I really didn't think that you could feel potentially judged on your pole dancing. So thank you for sharing that. I had no idea.
And people do. There's been many comments made from places, and I guess at different times in my life, as a coach, as a businesswoman, it's hard to put everything out there. And that's what I'm doing in this show. I'm going to be talking about my addiction law and talk about my sobriety, talk about my mental health, talk about all the challenges, friendships, learnings, lessons, all those things, bisexuality, my wife, all those things, because you already had a portion of me, and as I said, I feel like I've had a very diverse life this time around. If there's something that I've learned, something that I've got, if I can share it and it helps one person, then that's what I'm here to do. And today is about body movement. Well, empowerment for all humans, not just women, but we are women, so we strongly represent that. And for the mother bears out there, like, you are so entitled to love your body and feel sexy. And, that radiates into every relationship you have. If you're feeling good about yourself, like, oh my God, like, it's just the best feeling in the world, and it's free. So I hope we've inspired so the women that are listening to this, or like, anybody that wants to come to our studios or try something that's more community based.
Yeah, just try it. Honestly, I think the first time you try, you'll be hooked. Well, I know you'll be hooked because everybody is. Once you come in, you give it a go, you can't leave. And it's the community that pulls you back.
100%, and we do. We offer so many classes, kids, feral, silks, meditation, stretching, yoga. I mean, anyway, you've got them all in there. But if you look for the Call to Fitness link underneath this podcast, and I'm sure probably have the end on and a guest later on, we can talk about something else. But, yeah, I hope you guys found this useful. We're sending you all so much love, and listen to me next week, same time.
Thanks, Nichole.